Alright, so this video is going to be dedicated to talking about units that have the most long-term value and are just going to be very good for your account. And for the most part, just logically speaking, a lot of them, and they are SRs and even rares, that are going to be good, just can't really be damage dealers, okay, if it makes sense, because damage dealers usually have to scale up and SSRs are usually going to be doing more damage. But the thing is with SRs and rares for like supportive roles, well, it doesn't necessarily need to be an SSR for that. In a lot of, even in like not just this game, right, just in general, it really does not need to be SSRs. So we're going to talk about that, right? I have 5 main units that I'd say you could invest in. Now, you don't need to invest in every single one. I'll explain their roles, but then afterwards there's also some other ones that have like I'll say honorable mentions, but 5 units make this list. Number 1 is Gojo. Okay, now why am I including him in here? Now, yes, it's like I'm trying to make a rather free to play list, but also you could get him from the redrawable gacha, so keep that in mind. Now, why Gojo is really good is because for 7 turns he leaves after 7 turns, okay, but he doesn't take any damage. He cannot be touched for 7 turns. We've already been over this, right? But him having the alt, right, AoE alt, which I'm going to open here, we could do this here. So him having an AoE alt, right, is just very strong when you consider he increases his own damage, and you pair this with buffers. He can't take anything. He just can't. He can't be touched. And then he's able to do AoE damage, and it's mainly just he can't take damage, and he does pretty decent damage. So it's like there's not much more you would want from the guy. So I'm going to leave it at that for Gojo. I really don't see the point in really going hard for him. Now, next up, we got someone that I think everyone could kind of guess, being Yaga. All right, Yaga is just such an insane supporter, being very good AoE and versus bosses, that you just kind of want to have him. Now, there is another Yaga coming out, but in like 8 months, in like 6 to 8 months. So it's not soon, okay? And here we go. So it's not really soon, okay? Now, he gives everyone Taijutsu and Jujutsu. Then he's giving increased damage received, increased damage received, then decreasing the damage. So he's a debuffer for attack and a debuffer to make you take more damage, and then also increasing your damage. So from a supporter, he really has everything. Like, he's good for everyone versus bosses, versus just AoE, right? So it's really good. It is really good, and especially versus bosses, having that damage lower, like making it so that the enemies do less damage, is just a super strong ability, and you won't really see much of this on launch. And the wiki, a lot of people still rate him in the top tier of supporters, even almost a year into this game. So yes, Yaga definitely is someone who you do want for your account now and in the future. These two for sure. Now, next up, okay, we have very similarly Nanami, okay? Now, remember, this is for specifically long-term purposes, and you're actually going to get use out of, okay? So Nanami is going to be very good to support, same as Yaga, okay? He's going to be a bit more AoE in a different sense. He increases damage for all allies by 20%, then increases damage further here. That's basically it, right? He's going to do some damage, but mainly he just gives AoE damage increase. So this AoE damage increase is very nice. Not on the same level as Yaga, but having this is still going to be good, right? If you're not summoning for supports, let's just look at something real quick, right? The thing is, most hype units are damage dealers, okay? Mahito, Toji, Yuta, Hollow Purple Gojo, right? All, even this Nanami, very cool. All DPS, right? And then hidden inventory. So it's like all DPS, which means, yeah, you're going to need some SR supports or low investment supports to really help you out. And having this double AoE could be very good. In a lot of cases, if you need many buffs, many damage buffs, then that's going to be great. Especially in the future where there's some units. For example, Megumi. Was it Megumi? I feel like Nobara. Because they were released the same month. So I kind of, like, I just made that video. So with more debuffs, the more damage you get. So we could have one for buffs like that. And I think that's why Nanami does actually make this list. Now, next up, same person in the next 2 units, but It's going to be Yuki. Yuki is a very good unit. Very, very good unit. And I almost underplayed this unit a bit. But he gives attack nullification twice in 3 turns to the selected ally while increasing their Jujutsu damage. Very, very strong. While here, he stuns the enemy. And then here, he decreases all allies' Jujutsu damage. So a very, very strong, and then decreases damage further. So all his 4 abilities have a support ability to them, making him very strong supportively, and someone that could help you in the future whenever there's Jujutsu allies, well, Jujutsu units released, as long as it's not Gojo. Because Gojo can make use of attack nullification, right? But everyone else can. So this is going to be very good. Okay, this is going to be very, very, very good. And I like this unit a lot. This Yuki is definitely someone who I think I will build in the first month of the game. I don't know about right away, but I think in the first month, I will definitely be building this guy. Now then, next up, it is another Yuki. And this one, I think, has a lot more potential with Gojo. If you want to use Gojo, let me explain why. So, Gojo. He has his AoE, which is Jujutsu. He has very high Jujutsu, and then he increases his own damage. This Yuki is able to give, for one time, the all allies Jujutsu damage 128%. You pair this up with Yaga, right? You're going to get this once on Gojo, and basically it could be a clean sweep. You use Gojo's skill 2, you use Yuki's ult, oh, I guess you can't use the ult right away, but when you can, sorry. Yeah, so he has low ult gauge requirements. So like, by like 4 turns in, you've basically cleared, right? Once you're able to use this, after you use Gojo's ult, right? You try to time it with all of Yaga's support, right? And then you'll be able to just clear. Because Gojo's AoE is very strong early on. So that's basically how it's going to work. You set up for Gojo to get his damage increase, Yaga to damage increase, and then Yuki to damage increase, all perfectly to where Gojo could ult, essentially. That's basically how it's going to be working. But besides that, he recovers cursed energy and then decreases the ally's damage received for the person he chooses. So this Yuki is also very good. Slight different use, but way higher nuking potential with this. 120%, super huge. So those are the 5 main units that I would recommend, but there are some other ones that you can build, okay? Obviously, it's not the only ones. Now, for example, in terms of SSRs, there's not many that stay relevant. The only ones that are, like, pretty good, I would say, is someone like, oh, I don't even think I have it on this account. Do I know? I mean, someone like Jogo is going to be pretty good. Toto could work, but then also Inumaki, right? Inumaki is going to be very good, but then there are future Inumakis and all that good stuff. And then Nobara, but there's also like 10 bajillion Nobara, 3 Nobaras in total that they released. So next up, Momo is going to have a double AoE stun. So having her in the back burner is not going to hurt when you have a double AoE stun, right? That's the main thing with her. She's going to be very strong to just throw out 2 stuns and then that's it, right? That's basically it, right? She's going to be able to give herself evade status, increase all allies damage, and then she gives stuns all enemies twice, and then she's going to be evading attacks. So I like her kit a lot. That damage increase is going to make her very, very good. I think that she and Nanami could basically trade places in my eyes, but you guys could let me know if that's not the... Actually, no, sorry. I stand corrected because it's only 1 time the damage increase, where Nanami it's just 2 turns. So yes, she could work better in some cases, but Nanami overall is a bit of a freer unit, you could say. But because she stuns, she is very, 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 very valuable, that there is no doubt about. Now, let's say this I don't really see many uses for. Yes, you're going to have a healer. That's great. If you want to use Shoko, go ahead. This is going to be only good later on. I don't know, like, sure, you could say for investment, you could go into her because there's not many healers, but then there's also going to be Yuta who heals, just outright 25% heal every turn if someone's below a certain threshold, if I'm pretty sure. So you're not really going to need her if you're really going for Yuta. So in terms of investment, I wouldn't say this is great investment because of the fact that Yuta is going to be able to just heal, right? So what's the point for this if Yuta can heal? Now, let's say you do need a tank. There's 2 ways to go about it. One is Miwa. The thing is, she is not really the best because she's not able to dodge all the attacks and she might take too much damage. But if you're able to time it right, she's going to be able to taunt, and then you're going to be able to evade some of the attacks, not all the attacks, and she'll be decent. But then the other one would be Panda. So Panda has an AoE taunt and reduces damage. So those are like your 2 units that you could use for this. But I would say, honestly, you're probably better waiting for a tank unit. Because as of right now, we're not really going to need it. Okay, in terms of the future, you're probably going to want to get someone else for this role. Maybe the actual SSR Miwa, okay? Or the SSR, I forgot her name. Was it Yuki? No, sorry, that's the other one. Sorry, wrong original character. So I am talking about Saki. So the other one, the one with the blonde hair, right? Do I have her? I don't even know if I have her. Or sorry, I shouldn't say it's not my account. But this Saki as SSR is a very good unit. So yeah, but you're gonna have a lot of units that are able to tank in some ways. Yuta heals, helps the team out like that, and then Gojo just doesn't take damage. And then you pair that with someone like Yuki, you might not even need someone to actually tank. So that's something very, very important to keep in mind. So with all that said, we went over the 5 main units and some honorable mentions. Okay. I really wanted to stick the honorable mentions to mainly rare and SR units, so please do keep that in mind. But let me know your personal units that you're going to build long term if you are planning on sticking to this game, right? I think Global's in a decent spot where if JP gets content on First Annie, we could get that content from First Annie on the half anniversary, which is going to be pretty cool if they're able to speed it up. If they're speeding up content, to me, that screams that more content is coming. But let me know if your logic is different on that one for sure. Now, that's it for me from this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if this helped you out. Like and subscribe if you are new. Going to be making a lot of more JJK content. The more I learn about this game, the more I check the units, the more I'm hyped to just have this as a casual side game that I'm probably going to try and cover for the for like the foreseeable future. So yeah, I'm for sure, like, whenever Yuta Hollow Purple comes out, hidden inventory for both Gojo and also Toji, I'm gonna be there. I'm definitely gonna be there. And then I also really want the next Maki. She looks very fun. So does the Nanami. The blue Nanami looks very fun. And I really want Mahito. So yeah, I have a lot of units I am very excited for. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching this video, and bye-bye.